Hello fellow Brotanos, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my name is Fleur and today we are back with more Weiss Schwarz deck profiles, but we're going to continue the trend of waifu themed type decks. So obviously, you can see in the screen right now, it is a yellow deck, yeah, but it is Yoko from Gurren Lagann. Now, Gurren Lagann is a superb, amazing anime. Like, it's about mechs, it's space drills, but like, there's way more to it than that. And the morals of the show, it's crazy. There's action. It's pretty long running series as well. It's like 20 plus episodes if I remember correctly, and I think it had a movie. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a good minute since I watched Gurren Lagann, but I just know it was amazing, especially the first time I watched it. And I'm super glad that Bushiroad, Weiss Schwarz, has cards for this amazing anime. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll just start from the top, I believe. So yeah, let's do that. It's waifu theme. It is like 90% Yoko, but there's some cards in there that once we get to it, is it technically not Yoko, but it's a Yoko deck, okay? So, yeah, support Royal Yoko. So let us get started. The very first card is this Assist. It's from the trial deck. I never had the trial deck. I built this deck from scratch, by the way. But, yeah, it is an Assist. The first ability is Continuous. Assist. All the characters in front of this card gets 500 plus power. So, yeah, I played 3 of them. 4 would be Overkill. But less than that would be a little bit harder to get that little assist going. I mean, it's not too important, but the second ability maybe is. It just depends on preference. When the climax is placed in the climax area, choose one of your characters, give 1,000 power. So, more assist, basically, essentially. So, besides the 500 assist, if you have a climax, you play a climax during the climax phase, additional 1,000 power. Next, we will go to this Yoko. 4 of those. This Yoko, she is a level 0 stock bomb reverser, but let's talk about the first ability first before we get ahead of ourselves. When this card is placed with a stage with a hand, you may choose a level 2 or higher character, gets 3k power to their turn. So she helps with the end game stuff, sorta. There is a level 2 climax combo in here. We'll get to that once we do, but the second ability is Wire Run 4 of her. When this card becomes reversed, if the card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may put that character into stock, and if you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into the waiting room. So if she's force stock swaps, not stock swap, like stock bomb kick. Stock swap is a different ability, trust me. Kick a level 0 that she got reversed from, or you crash into, and you just want to get rid of that level 0. Maybe it has like a marker that it's getting powered up or something. You just want to reverse it. It just gets kicked to stock, and then they lose that marker, for example. Yeah, there you go. You took care of it. 4 of them, just to keep that little level 0 pressure going to reverse any of those annoying little cards that like help your opponent out. So yeah, they would have to pay stock to get it out. It's in the waiting room. Then they have to salvage it, or if they had more copies of it, they gotta get another one going. So on and so forth. So yeah, that's why I run her for the Teen Super Galaxy Dad Gurren Yoko. That's quite the name for that card. But yeah, next is one of the best cards in the set, I would say. But she has one ability, and she's from the trial deck, and I like the art too as well. So the only ability she has is an auto. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to the open position of the center stage. So that can be helpful in a lot of ways. She can avoid climax combos that if she gets reversed, she can just run to she can only run in the center stage, which is a given, but yeah, she can avoid stuff like that. That's all she does. 4 of her, obviously you don't want to overcommit because then none of them can run, so like 2 on the board is good enough because they can just run around. But if your opponent tries fields, which is all 3 positions on the center stage field, then it's just not ideal. She can run, but like she's probably going to be defeated by any lane she goes to. So sometimes that can happen. That's why you don't want to overcommit too much. But this deck does kind of need the stock for that. So man, it just depends, man. So yeah, next is this Yoko, the Unexpected Kiss. Her first ability is Continuous. During your turn or your other character in the middle position stage, keep that in mind, gets 500 power, plus power, and an ability. This card cannot be chosen by cards your opponent's card effects. Basically, it just cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So like, if they trigger a wind, if they attack with wind, and you have a card in its center middle stage, they cannot bounce that card. Yeah, 500 plus power is sort of nice, but the real cooker is that continuous ability. And then next, second ability, Brainstorm, pay 1. Rest 2 characters, which sort of sucks, but yeah, that's kind of how it was back in the day, because this set is old, mind you. Pay 1, rest 2 characters, flip over 4 cards, top of the deck, and each one in a menu that is, climax revealed this way, search your deck for up to 1 Team Gurren character. Reveal to your opponent out of the hand, top of your deck. So, all your characters have the Team Gurren trait. At least this deck is. I think there's some cards out there that don't have the Team Gurren trait that's in the Gurren Lagann set. But for this particular one, yes, all of them are Team Gurren characters, okay? So you can search for any of those characters if you get climaxes. And besides that, that's all this Yoko does. I mean, yeah, special in that way. 4 is overkill, but the level 0 game does need more characters, theoretically, on the center stage to generate stock, because most of these, like this one, probably won't be around because it's super weak, 500 power, and she's there to get reversed. These are assists, so usually they're in the back row, and if you had them in the front row, they're very weak, 1000 power, and then these you don't want to overcommit. You could place 3 on board, theoretically, but technically you shouldn't, to get that ability of them running around going. And then these, once you have 1 or 2 in the backstage of these, you're pretty much set. So next is first level 1s, and she is a very, very simple backup. When your character's being frontal attack, you can reveal this in your hand, discard it. Gives that character that's being frontal attack 1500 power until the end of turn. So that's all she does. She's simple. You could play her on board. 1500 power is crazy weak for level 1, but hey, if you just need to get stock going, she can do that. She's free to play and there's no stock. She's even technically free to play for even the backup. No stock for that either. Next, we have another level 1. This one does cost a stock, but we play a 4 of this, and that is because of the ability, which is a fairly good one. Continuous. If the character facing this card is cost 0 or lower, this card cannot be reversed. So if they're trying to, good example, I don't know, if this had like somehow more power than 5500 and she attacks into this, she will not get reversed. Like, the attack will still go off, trigger soul, still take soul damage, whatever, but she's going to stick around still because that's a cost 0, right? Cannot be reversed by cost 0 or lower. That's all she does. She's a good card for that reason, and that's why I run 4 of her. Sometimes having all 4 of her roughly when you're just in the beginning of the level 1 state of the game, and I don't really have much stock because, like I said a little bit about the level 0 game, it's a bit troubling to get like one of these out because I do want to save stock at level 1. That's when the game kind of gets higher gear, I guess you could say, to a certain extent, and paying multiple stock for just all these cards. And if your opponent just had like a standby or something that they can cheese out the 1 stock cards to beat over this, then it's kind of for nothing. But it just depends again on the deck you're facing and all that stuff. So yeah, next we're gonna talk about this another level 1 Yoko. Wow, who would have thought another Yoko? That's the theme of the deck. It's the waifu deck. She's free to play. She is a 5k level 1 beat stick in a certain sense, but yeah, she has one ability, which is when this card's placed on the stage in hand, this card gets X power to the end of the turn. X equals the number of Team Gurren characters you have times 500. So if you have a full board and she was played last, that's pretty big power. But besides that, after that turn, she's just there, just sitting there with 5k, which is a little bit bigger than normal level 1s these days. Some level 1s have like 40,000 power, 4,500 power. That's because they're like climbers, crawls and whatnot. They actually do more stuff and other things, and they need markers and whatever the case may be. This card has more power than most average level 1s these days. So yeah, that's all she does. And the card art looks pretty cool too. So, and it's Yoko. So yeah, now we're already on the level 2s. Yeah, there's not much of a level 1 game for this deck. That's because when I was making this deck, I barely made it because like this is like all the Yoko cards practically. So yeah, level 2. Here we go. It is new teacher Yomiko, climax combo. So she's on level 2 climax combo, but there's two climax combos basically. But hear me out with this. Effect auto climax combo. Put this card into your stock when. For the sake of precious children, when it's placed in the climax area, you may pay the cost. If you do special listen Yomiko, choose a special listen Yomiko, in the waiting room, put it in the stage position this card is on. So she changes into another card, which we're going to get to literally right after this card, or after I'm done explaining it. But basically, she changes into a stronger version of herself that is also a level 2, but you keep a stop because she goes into stock, and then the climax combo that she's doing this based off of also gives a stock. It is a 2 soul climax card, but it also chooses a card. I mean, I'm going a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but it chooses a yellow card into the waiting room. You put it into stock, so you get 2 stock off of this climax combo alone. But you gotta be careful because you need that Yomiko, the other card, in the waiting room. Put it in stage position on, which we're going to talk about right now. So yeah, level 2, here we go. This is kind of why we want to do that change effect ability, because this level 2 costs 2 stock, as you can see right there on the top there. So yeah, auto ability climax combo. There's a special listen Yomiko. Pay 2 stock, okay. Discard 1 card. When this card attacks, if for the sake of the precious children is in the climax area and the number of your other Team 9 Gurren characters is 4 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, all characters at the center stage get the following ability to the end of turn. And it's once per turn. So once it happens, that's it for the rest of the turn. So when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, deal 1 damage. So it just burns for 1. Basically, it kind of helps. It kind of just like balances out. So it does cost 2 stock to do that. You have to discard a card, so you technically -1, but like after that, also you gotta have like a full board too, and just to do that 1 burn effect. And once that burn effect does happen after your opponent cancels, it just becomes beat sticks, man. I mean, 85 is not really something to scoff at, I guess you could say. But it is a level 2. Not a lot of people play level 2. You want to just save stuff for your level 3 game. But yeah, she's the only Yoko card with the climax combo. So yeah, I was sort of forced to put her into it. I mean, it works out in the end. It's okay. It just requires a lot of setup just to burn 1 if your opponent cancels. I don't know, man. It's a lot of work for just 1 of the burns, is all I'm saying. But it's cool to get the changeability out, because then you have all these teacher Yokos here. Transfer to this Yoko. That's all she does. Just a lot of setup, just the 1 ability. But besides that, she's a 2 stock. She also has 2 souls, so if you want to push for damage, she can do that too. But you don't want to have too many of her. That's gonna overswing and then it's gonna cancel. So yeah, next we're gonna talk about this other level 2. Yeah, there's a lot of level 2s in this deck. Now, this is one of those decks, real quick, before I get into this next card here, is there's a lot of level 2s that I normally would not play in a deck normally when I'm deck construction a Weiss Schwarz deck, but that's because of the limited choices I had. For this to be consistent with Yoko, I had to do it like this. So yeah, going back to this now, this card just about to talk about here, the Brutal Surface Yoko. Really, this is like the beginning of the series, like episode 1, 2, 3 or something. I think this scene in particular happens fairly early, but yeah, she is a 5500 attacker, but she's for the backstage for good reason. 2/1 cost of stock. Your other Team 9 Gurren characters is the first ability. Continuous gets 1000 power. So yeah, there's that. There's 2 of her. You only really need 2, because if you have both in the backstage, it's a constant 2k power for all your Team 9 Gurren characters besides herself. But she doesn't need it for herself because she's going to be sitting in the backstage mostly. Unless you really want to soul push, you can have her on the center stage, attack with her if you must, which sometimes does happen with this deck, I must admit. But It happens, man. So yeah, second ability, auto. Discard a card with the cost placed with the stage in your hand. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose a cost 0 character your opponent's backstage, put it in stock. So this ability is weird. So first of all, it snipes a level 0 character, cost 0 character, your opponent's backstage, which is quite interesting. I think there's only like one other card that I can think of at the top of my head right now. That's from the Data Life set. That if it's a level 3, that when it attacks, you can like pay a stock or discard a card or something. It's a origami card, so the people who know Data Life knows what I'm talking about potentially. But yeah, it's a blue card. It's a level 3. When it attacks, it freaking attacks a backstage character. So that's the only other card I can think of right now that kind of does what she does, but it's weird because you discard a card and you snipe a cost 0, right? But it goes into your opponent's stock, so you just gave your opponent a free start, but you did get rid of a card that's technically never going to be attacked or targeted, I guess, in a sense, in the back row. That's usually a place. Cards in the back row don't really be targeted, except for effects like this, which is I want to say it's rare. It's very rare. I don't really see stuff like this. So yeah, that's all she does. And the card art is pretty nice for, well, obvious reasons besides the context I just explained for the anime side. So what this card does, it's a backup, obviously level 2. When you use this card as a backup, if you have a Team Gurren character, your character in battle gets 1000 power to the end of turn. So essentially, besides the second ability, which is Act Backup 2500, level 2 buff, it's technically a 3500 buff power backup card. So yeah, besides the art, that's what I use it for. It's a little bit better backup, like I said, level 1, but you gotta be level 2 to even do it. So and then it's a promotional rare card, so PR. So again, another level 2, but it's not a character. It is an event. Team Gurren flag, and what it does, you search for 2 Team Gurren characters, you add them to your hand, and then you discard 1. So -1 in hand. Well, actually, I think you become neutral. You search for 2 characters, and then you discard 1. That's okay. This card is mainly to be used to set up for this climax combo, I guess you can say. That's what I mainly use that for. But yeah, you can discard anything at the end of the day. You can search for anything at the end of the day, but that's mostly what you're going for. Especially if you're level 2, you gotta get this effect going. Just to burn 1, I guess. But like, I don't know. There's a whole stock building thing too. So if you don't want to do the ability, I mean, the climax combo is optional. So if you just want to keep that 2 stock that it just gives you off of the climax and the Yoko, then there you go. If you just want to be able to start for your level 3, but yeah, that's all this card does. That's you just search 2, discard 1, it's an event. So you're level 2, you have your other cards, which is the whole deck. It goes online. So next we're going to talk about level 3, the burner of the deck besides the level 2, I guess. And it's alright, but it can also be early played. It heals, and it's simply just called Yoko. And the art's pretty good too, but man, the signed version of this looks better, but obviously I cannot afford the signed one. It's so much money. But yeah, here we go. Team Gurren character, continuous. If the number of climaxes you waiting room is 2 or less, this card gets minus level in your hand. So she's essentially a level 2. If the requirements are met for that first ability, then she can be able to play at level 2. So second ability is a standard for level 3s that they usually have. When this card is placed on the stage in hand, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. So it heals on play, which is nice. Again, it's a standard for level 3s. And then third ability is the burn ability, which is why we have 4 of her to do that for. When this card attacks, choose one of the other characters and try to end a turn. This gets auto. Discard 1 card, you pay a stock also, and when this card's battle board becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do 1 damage to your opponent. So you can stack that onto 1 Yoko. So if you go to guaranteed to reverse a card on your opponent's side of the board with a Yoko, you can have the other 2 Yokos. So like theoretically, the perfect board would be like, I don't know, 2 of her in the backstage, right? Or even 1 of her in the backstage, 1 of her in the backstage, and then 3 of these Yokos, right? Other center stage, and then you attack with the other 2. you keep using the ability that when it attacks, choose one of your other characters. So like target the middle one, I guess. And if the middle one has enough power, because like by then when this happens and that happens, and this level 0 happens, either climax, she gets big. It gets reversed, then you could potentially burn for like 2. Because like when she attacks, it states other. So like that last Yoko has to pick someone else, and at that point it's the last card you're attacking with, so it's useless. But you have to choose anyway because it's other. Choose other characters. Can't choose yourself. So yeah, it will burn 2 if canceled, which is kind of crazy. But like, yeah, you got to reverse also. And does it 500. Yeah, it's pretty standard for a level 3, but it's 500 less than a normal level 3's power. Yeah, you gotta get these going. And like I said, level 2 is a lot. Level 2 is enough. Like this is too much, personally. But like again, I was very limited on options to keep it consistent with Yoko. So yeah, that's all she does. That's the main card of the deck, pretty much right there. That's the Yoko, I guess you could say so. Yeah, here we go. Here's the climax combo. This is the sake for our precious show. It is the 2 soul, but it does not do the normal like 2 soul push normal climaxes. It actually gives you a stock. So when you place this card in the climax area during your climax phase, you choose up to 1 yellow card. It could be any yellow card. It doesn't have to be a character. It doesn't have to be a climax. It doesn't even have to be an event. It could be any yellow card, right? You could choose any of those. You put it in your stock, and all you could is get an extra soul for the turn. So that gives you a soul, right? Let's go back to this climax combo. That gives you a soul, and this gives you a soul. So that gives you a soul. So 1 soul, 2 soul, and then this comes out for free, practically, because then you gotta sack this in a sense. But you know what I mean. This comes out, you have 2 soul, and if you do not want to do the effect, then you just got like two stock for free, basically, and you basically early play her out in a sense, but basically for free, because that two stock that you normally would pay from hand if you want to hard play her has been paid for already. Like she comes to the waiting room for free, that because of this giving a stock and that giving a stock, because she puts herself a stock and then choose the yellow card, right? So, but again, different story if you actually want to do that burn effect. It's a lot of setup. We already talked about this, but yeah, that's all what this card does, and it's important for those level 2s. So next, we're going to talk about the last 4 cards of the deck, and that is this yellow shot climax. So there was another yellow shot climax. I'm actually glad I didn't pick it for the sake of this video and for the sake of spoilers, because it just kind of shows what happened to that character that's on the art of that card. Dang. GG, I guess. But yeah, I chose this one because, one, it's cheaper. Like this is literally like it's a triple rare card. I'm looking at it right now in real life as I'm discussing this deck profile with you guys. But it's like the cheapest triple rare card I've ever bought in my life. It was like $2-3 for a triple rare climax. Like that's crazy. Like triple rare climaxes cost way more than that, like $15+ now. So, but yeah, that's because this doesn't climax combo or anything. The other one did. It also was a shot. It was a yellow climax, obviously, but it climax combo with something else, and it was too expensive. And again, glad I didn't choose it because it shows potential spoilers. But yeah, that's why I chose this. It looks nice. It's triple rare too. What it does is that when it's triggered, the next damage that's dealt by the attacking character is triggered. This card is cancelled. It deals 1 damage. So yeah, that's kind of like the premise of this deck. It's a shot deck and 1 burn damage type ish deck, I guess. But it is Yoko. It's the only like selection I had, unless they're gonna upgrade Gurren Lagann one day, like they did with Kill Kill with the power up set. But I guess they saw it as, yeah, this set doesn't need it, but Kill Kill does for some reason. So I don't know, but yeah, chose this. And then besides that, 1000 power, 1 soul for all your characters for the turn if you decide to play it during the climax phase. So yeah, that's it. This is the Yoko Waifu deck, basically. There you go. This deck was fun to build. was fun to test out. I just wish Yoko had a little bit more selection. Like, this is pretty much it, man. This is like all the Yoko cards that it has to offer, pretty much. Besides the alternate rarity of all of them, too. Like, there's this the level 0 sign card, you know. Just practically looks the same. Just the signature, the voice actor's signature is on it. Yeah, there you guys go. That's just a Gurren Lagann Yoko waifu deck. Fits with the waifu theme. Weiss Schwarz deck profile. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys want more of this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys see you guys in the next one. Bye.